my friends, how are you? I'm Claudia and today I'm here at the homestead. We're going to be showing you the flock of chickens that we have. I have some previous videos where I show you how many chickens we had. The videos are in Spanish, but from now on we're going to be uploading in English, and we're going to be showing you somewhere over here where you can change the audio to Spanish, because my kid is going to be helping me to edit the videos. So my husband also speaks English, so we're gonna be doing the videos in English here. If you have any questions, don't forget to tell me in the captions. But we are in central Indiana, and we are in the end of the October month. So we are still having some nice days, even though the temperatures are dropping down to like 40 degrees, and we just had the first 43-degree day night. So that was pretty chilly. The chickens were having a little bit of a hard time, and that was the older chickens that we had, because they are going through a molt right now. So we decided to downsize the flock. We normally keep our chickens for a good while, and we try to keep them as healthy as we can, but whenever you have too many chickens, sometimes they get sick, they get stressed out, and during the molting time is a hard time for them. So we lost several chickens last year during the winter, and we didn't want to go into the winter this year with a ton of chickens. So we just got rid of about 22 to 25 chickens total. We had a lot of roosters that we added this year because we hatch our own eggs. So we ended up with a bunch of roosters, and those we butcher, and we're going to be using them as broth. We did not record any of this process because it was like a fast day, and I had my neighbor come over and help, and she also was here to learn how to butcher animals. So we did it kind of quick, and it was not planned, it was all improvised, so we did it really quick. We also yesterday I sold about a dozen of chickens. I went on groups where you can publish that you want to give your chickens a new life, that they're looking for a new coop. So I went online and I posted that I have some older chickens. I gave them the descriptions that my chickens were older. They were close to 2.5 to 3 years old. They don't really lay. After their first year, they don't really lay very well during the molting time, which is around this time. My chickens also wanted to be mamas. They were going broody, so we just had too many chickens that were older. They were not laying properly, and also we offered them, and somebody came and took a whole bunch. So I'm gonna show you what we have left and what we are going to be taking into the winter in this year. And we are also eventually, this coop setup right here is going to be going away, because we are going to be moving a coop to another area. So it's kind of nice also to be able to start that process with a little bit of chickens, and then we can add new chickens in the spring. So currently this is the setup that we have for the chickens. They have the hen house right up there, and then they have this area that is covered, and we added these plastic panels so that we could get some light, and so that they can get some dry space in there. There's ventilation at the top right here where the air can flow through, but mostly the bottom is going to be covered and dry. So like I said, we got rid of a total of 20 to 25 chickens, and we got rid of 15 laying hens, and the rest were roosters. So we had a lot of roosters. This year I already added new layers. So these girls right here are the golden lace Wyandottes. We added those, and we also added for the very first time these white chickens. So they are going to be Brahmas, which are very hardy during the cold. So I was mentioning to my husband that I wanted to start this winter with hardy chickens, and the Brahmas are fantastic layers once they get started laying, and they are also really good at handling the cold weather. I also kept a couple of older chickens, like this one here is older. She's an Easter egger, and over here we have she was from a Semani mom, and from my rooster right here. So we kept her because, well, we don't have anybody that looks like her. We also have like this great chicken that you see over here on the screen. She's gonna be an olive egger that we added this year. All the white chickens are going to be brand new layers. I only kept like 3 roosters, so this one right here on the screen is a rooster, the white one right there, and my main rooster, which is Rambo, and that's all in this flock. So now they have a lot of room to run around. I tried to add 10 of those laying hens, the Wyandottes, but unfortunately we lost 4. We lost 4 to a hawk or a fox or something got them, because I also let them free range. So normally I try to stay out whenever they are free ranging, but I don't know what took them or when they took them, because they were out free ranging and then something flew down and they were little, so they're easier to grab. So that is the one pen. We have another area where we keep our chickens and ducks over here, and these are going to be black copper marans. Black copper marans and French marans are really good layers, and they lay you like a rich dark chocolate looking shell, even though the egg is an egg. But yeah, on this side we keep the black copper marans, and we also have a flock of Muscovy ducks. Over here I have 4 females, so I have these 3 females right here that are still kind of young. They're not of laying age yet, but we have them in here so that they can get used to each other. We have one male duck over here, and then there's another one floating around somewhere. Oh, he's right there eating food. And there's another female somewhere over here too. So I have a total of 4 females and 2 males on this side. They are gorging themselves right now on the fermented food that I make, because during the molt it's hard for them to create new feathers, or yeah, so it's the weather change is hard on them. So I try to make a fermentation, I try to ferment their food so that it's easier for them to digest it, and eventually we'll move back to dry food. Yeah, when it gets really cold, I'm gonna move back to dry food. Anyway, so I have a couple of older laying hens on this pen. They're not too old, but they did slow down a lot on the layings, because I'm really not getting that many eggs. I'm getting like maybe 3 eggs out of this pen and nothing from the other one, because my chickens that were on the other side, they were all old, and these girls over here, they're not fully ready to lay. Some of them are new. We added them this year too. So I have a couple of older hens that don't lay, and then I have a bunch of newer hens that I added on this side that are barely starting to lay. So we will have some fresh eggs this winter, but yeah, we did have to take down a lot of our chickens because, well, they get stressed out and then they stop laying, and the days are getting shorter, so they really do stop laying. So what's gonna happen is that we bought some Muscovy ducks because we wanted to try them out to see how they were with laying eggs. Well, they are not gonna be laying eggs until like the spring, so as of right now we're not gonna see anything from them. And we also heard that they are really good to eat. So unfortunately for us, whenever we were buying the ducks, we ended up with, I want to say, close to 8 males. So we ended up butchering 3 of them. We put them in the freezer. We tried them. I'm not 100% sure that I like the meat, just because it's a different texture than turkey or chicken. So we are kind of trying it out still. But we have too many males, and when it comes to poultry, you really don't need that many males to your hen ratio. So I offer them on a group also to see if somebody will come and give my 3 roosters, my 3 drakes that I have, a new home, because like I said, I don't know if I'm going to put them in the freezer. They're too beautiful in order to like freeze them. Over here I have a white drake. He's really, really beautiful. So I kind of feel bad when I have to butcher them, because the butchering of the ducks is a little bit more hands-on than when you butcher chickens. There's a lot more riding on you to butcher ducks. And like I said, I don't 100% know if I love the meat or not. So, but yeah, we have 3 ducks that we offered, and we're waiting to see if anybody says yes, they will take them, because if not, we're gonna have to bring in about 9 ducks into the winter, and I don't know that I want to do that, even though now that we don't have, you know, 20 some chickens, we have more room. So I don't know, I'm trying to wait and see if anybody will take them off my hands. Because if not, we're gonna have to butcher, and I really don't want to do that. So yeah, as of right now, this is what we have. We still have this pens right here. Oh, we have this pens right here where we usually raise our meat birds, and as of right now, I have 3 hens that I'm waiting for somebody to come and buy from us today. And we also have a vegetable garden on the homestead that it's not producing anymore, but I don't have the heart to rip it out, even though I need to before it gets really cold, because I really do enjoy the sun. I really do enjoy spending time out here. I really do enjoy the flowers, and I enjoy the whole show that we were getting, because we were getting a lot of visitors. And by visitors, I mean we were getting a bunch of hummingbirds that they have already left. We had a bunch of butterflies that some of them are still hanging around. There's one flying over there on a Titonia. So we still have a couple of butterflies coming to visit. But I know that at the end of October, we're going to be getting a hard freeze. We have a 43-degree weather coming up this year. I mean this month. 43-degree day, and even though it's not a hard freeze, it's going to be rough on some of this plant. So the plan is going to be to cover these beds with fresh compost. I'm working on a brand new pile of compost. So I have a little bit of older compost that I have been working on that is gonna go on the beds. I have some zinnias over here that have gotten powdery mildew, so they're gonna need to be taken down, and they're going to need to be burned, I think. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna burn them or I'm gonna compost them, because I have a big pile of compost. So I don't want to take them down because I really like them. But yeah, when it comes to vegetables, I'm really not. I already took down most of my plants. I had some tomatoes, and I had some tomatillos, and I had some pepper plants that I was still keeping around. My cucumbers went really fast because we had a lot of cucumber beetles getting in the stems and stuff and damaging the plant. So my cucumbers kind of did okay, and I had enough to pickle some stuff, so not too bad. Also, my tomato plants got really sick this year. It was not a good year for tomatoes, but it was a better year for tomatillos. I had a lot of tomatillos and a lot of volunteer tomatillos. So I have these 4 garden beds, and like I said, I had tomatoes on that side. I took them all down already. There's a cucumber plant holding on here. I have to clean that bed. Don't want to. I have to clean this bed. I don't want to. And over here I don't have a bed, so eventually I'm going to be adding another garden bed, but I have to make my molds. I use concrete molds to make the bed, so I'm going to be making another bed that eventually is gonna go right here. I have a bed right here that I'm gonna be using for garlic. I already prepped it, and I have it covered because I don't want things growing in it. So I just removed, I had a couple of tomato plants here. I removed them, I put compost, and this is my pile of compost right here. So it's whatever I have left from the previous years, because every year I start a new pile of compost. This pile is the pile that we are working on currently. I left a video on here before. It's in Spanish, but you should be able to add captions or change the language to English, and that will show you how I started the pile. We got very lucky that there was somebody offering they were offering horse manure like 5 minutes from my house. So my husband took the trailer and we went and we got, I don't even know, a full trailer of composted manure, and it was horse manure that we mixed with our current compost setup. So as you can see, we are very blessed to have many leaves. So we added a bunch of leaves, we added all the composted manure, and when we witch our chickens, we also put the chickens in there, or whatever we can use out of the chicken, and we add it to the compost, and we try to keep it, we try to make everything break down. Here in the next week, I have to come over and flip it, and we have a thermometer going on. It hasn't gotten really hot, but yeah, we need to flip it and make sure everything is breaking down in there. So yeah, this is I'm not gonna be able to use this until for at least another month, and hopefully by then we're not fully frozen. So I have some plants that I need to, I think I'm gonna cut them back, and these are going to be blackberries. This right here are gonna be my blueberries that I need to top off, because as you can see, these are going to be my original garden beds. They were these metal containers, and they have sunken down a lot, so I need to add some material to this. Like I said, I don't want to fully take my plants out, but they're gonna have to, because I'm not gonna be able to save them because the cold is gonna kill them. But I have some tomatoes still holding on for dear life right here. Hopefully they mature. If they don't mature, it's fine, I can use them green. But there's really not much going on the beds anymore. I'm just waiting for something to happen and come and kill everything, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I gotta clean it. So yeah, I tried to plant some green stuff. Like I have some radishes going on in here. I have some kale going on in here. But my chickens, when they free range, they're like, yeah, freedom. And then they climb in here, and then they start like scratching, because chickens do that. They come and scratch, and they remove everything that I planted. So oh well, that happens. This time of the year, I really don't mind that they do that. I do mind in the summer, whenever we are fully growing the vegetables. I really do mind, and they usually stay in their enclosed run. But sometimes I feel bad that they're enclosed all the time, so I let them out, and then I regret my decision. Anyway, soon I'm going to be cleaning this bed. I have lots of leaves that I need to figure out what to do with, and I have already saved a bunch of seeds. So I'm gonna take you here in this little greenhouse and show you what's going on in the greenhouse, because I'm also using it to help me extend the growing season a little bit more. So this greenhouse needs a new door. My zippers that I have right here, they have messed up. They're really not working. So my husband said that he's gonna try to adjust me a door, and then if we do that adjustment, I'll show you in another video, because we try to be handy. Well, he is very handy. So anyway, let me show you what I have going on right here. And these are some plants that my mother-in-law gave me out of her garden. They feel like velvet. And these are perennial plants that I planted on the ground. Whenever I brought them home, I put them in soil so that I would keep them for a while. But I already got a bunch on the ground. Right here I started some kale. And I have them in the greenhouse because they were babies and I didn't want my chickens to eat them. I also didn't want too many bugs to get on there, even though something found them and ate all the leaves. So I do have a white butterfly in here or something trying to eat my stuff, but that happens. They love greens. Right here I have some lavender that I started from seed. The smell is fantastic. I need to plant it in the ground because lavender is a perennial. This is not going to die. In the fall is a good time to plant so that I can have some beautiful plants in the spring, hopefully, crossing my fingers. Right here I have some rosemary. Rosemary will not perennialize right here where I am in Indiana. It will die when it gets like the temperature gets really cold, so I'm trying to overwinter to bring into the house. So I have 2 plants right here going on that are gonna go inside the house. I have different varieties of kale right here. This is a Swiss chard that I also started from seed. I have some cilantro going on because right now it's like the perfect weather for cilantro. So every now and then I come in and I pinch it, because the more you pinch it, the more cilantro you get. These are some black-eyed Susans that I took out of my garden and I put them in soil because black-eyed Susans reproduce like crazy. So I have a bunch of them in here. They don't look the best because I just transplanted them. And right here are some seeds. These are called foxgloves. I started this from seed and they are not going to flower until next year. So the first year they give you a lot of roots, a lot of development, and then next year they will give you flowers. So hopefully next year we have some flowers on these guys, and I have several of them. They look really great. They're right here in the greenhouse. Right here I have some peppers that I'm going to try to overwinter. Crossing my fingers that it works. And these are peppers that I started this year. I already took the plants down substantially, but I'm gonna have to like come back and cut them some more, like probably to this height right here, to like the first, because I took it down already. I don't know if you can see, and it's already growing. So they like the weather in the greenhouse because it's warm enough, and at night it gets cold, but they're protected from like the wind and all that, so they are liking it right in here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plants that I'm going to be trying to overwinter this year. And I have more greens going on right here, more lavender. I started some lettuce, but it's not doing very well, which is fine. I started more lettuce. This is a marigold, I think. Volunteer marigold. Okay, more lettuce right here. I have some more kale. They go on the garden beds. They can go on the garden beds, but I started them here, and since I don't want to take the flowers outside. Oh, something came and dig right here. That was probably a squirrel. Yep, a squirrel probably came in here, and like they love loose soil, so they probably came in here and dug that up. And this is more bok choy right here. Bok choy. This is spinach that is growing in there. More cilantro, more peppers, and all this I'm gonna take it down. I'm gonna take it all down, like you see, jalapeno. I was just waiting on this to mature, and then I'm gonna cut it, and take it all back down. And then this year my husband said he's going to set up something in the house so that I can get like a more controlled area where I can have some warmth, because this greenhouse doesn't really get warm, doesn't keep any heat at night. So I need to make sure that these guys are like in more controlled environment. I also got me this tangerine. I think it's a tangerine or a mandarin, I'm not sure, but it's supposed to withstand cold weather to a certain degree once it's established. So I have some right here. They are some citrus plants. I got them from somebody off of Facebook also. I go on Facebook a lot. And right here I have more foxglove. These are looking really healthy. Another tangerine right here, tangerine that I got from somebody. And here's some seeds that I'm saving. I'm saving a lot of zinnias. I just save the head and then I put them right here. And right there, there's a bunch of seeds. I don't know what color I'm gonna get. I'm just gonna get what I'm gonna get, and that's just seed saving, right? Right here, I have this, I forgot the name, but it's getting dry right here. And whenever you shake it, you see all that black stuff that falls in here? That's seeds. That right there, I don't know if you can see it right there. There's some seeds out of this plant right here that I use to feed my chickens. So once I save some seeds from here, whatever's left, I'm just gonna throw it at the chickens, and then I'm just gonna have a bunch of seeds for next year. Here I have some marigolds that I'm also saving, and I use the marigolds to feed my chickens also. So right here I have a bunch of marigold seeds. I tried to save some to use and grow for next year. So I usually pick one that I like, the growth pattern and everything, and I try to save the seeds. And out of one flower, you're gonna get many seeds. So I put the flowers in the ferment. You can take the flowers and throw them in the chicken run. The chickens will kind of peck at it but not really eat it. When I put it in the ferment though, they do eat them, so that helps them with the irritation whenever they're molting. It helps them get dewormed, and also if you put flowers in their nesting boxes, that keeps away like pests or something, I don't know, or it just makes the chicken run, not the chicken run, the chicken coop smell better. So I usually try to save as many seeds as I can. Here I have some sunflower seeds that I save. I have some cosmos seeds that I'm saving. I have a bunch of the Mexican sunflower seeds right here that I save. I have a very particular, very pretty zinnia that somebody gave me. It was like a beautiful pink full zinnia. So I took it home, I dried it out, and then I saved some of the petals. And I have it separated because this one I did want to know what it was, and I can still tell what color the petals are. So this is going to be something I might grow next year. I saved some coleus seeds, and I put a little tag right there. And then I have a bunch of seeds in here. I don't know, you're not gonna be able to tell, but I have a bunch of seeds in here that I saved. So I have them all in here, and that's what I'm doing, just to save some seeds. All right, I have more. I'm trying to fully take advantage of this greenhouse for another little month, like I said, so that I can grow more greens, whether they be for me or for my chickens, because I like to give the chickens stuff to chew on, because I don't always let them free range. So whenever they don't get to free range, I go and I grab a handful of these greens and I throw it at them. I don't throw it at them, I do throw it at the ground, and then they peck it, they eat it. So, but if I were to set this whole tray in there, they would decimate this in like no time. So it takes a little bit for them to grow. That's why they're in here protected, and anytime I come, I just go like this to simulate that there's air movement, and I try to keep the soil moist. So more greens. I have some parsley growing here. I have some mint that I'm trying to save. Mint will grow fantastic in the ground, but I don't want it to take over everything, even though we have the space for it to take over. I don't mind mint. But yeah, I have some mint that I split. I started with one little twig like this. It got really big, so I planted it in several containers. There's more lettuce going on right here, and this is what's going on the greenhouse. And I just need my husband to set me up a door right here, and hopefully we can keep using this greenhouse for a while. That's a little bit of the what's going on in the homestead. We have some projects that we're going to be doing in the house, so that I'm going to be showing you throughout the winter. Yeah, I have a lot of cleaning to do in this garden, and I just don't want it to end. I really don't. I don't want it to end. We just lost a beehive because we also have bees over there. I don't want it to end, but I know that inevitable is going to be inevitable. It's coming. Winter's coming. And yeah, I will be seeing you with more updates in another video. I hope you guys have a great time y este video Saca a cappuccino.